Welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at Kristin Hannah's Winter Garden.
It's a novel that's gotten a lot of attention. We're
Yeah.
going to be trying to see why it's resonating with so many readers.
We're going to look at the story of two sisters,
Meredith and Nina,
raised in the U.S.
by their Russian immigrant mother, Anya.
Anya is a bit of an enigma.
Distant,
Reserved.
leaving these girls to kind of forge their own bond.
It's not until she's on her deathbed that she reveals a secret.
About her past
In Russia.
during World War II,
And this sends these sisters on a journey.
to uncover their family history.
Now that journey unfolds across two timelines.
The mother's experience in Leningrad during the war and the daughter's present lives decades later in America.
And this structure is not just a clever narrative device.
No, it allows Hannah to explore how trauma can actually reverberate across generations.
We see how Anya's wartime experiences, her choices, her sacrifices, directly shape the lives of her daughters, even though they grew up in a totally different world.
One reader described the book this way: "It made me question everything.
Why did she do that?
Why is she like that?"
The book isn't just a passive experience. It draws you in, forces you to grapple with these complex characters and their motivations.
Especially Anya.
She's a figure who inspires strong reactions. Some readers found her cold, distant, almost unlikable, but others felt a deep empathy for her, recognizing the ways her past shaped her personality.
Anya's character seems to be a focal point for so many readers. It speaks to Hannah's skill as a writer that she can create a character who's so multifaceted, so resistant to easy categorization. She's a survivor, she's a mother,
Right.
she's deeply wounded, but capable of great love and sacrifice.
Understanding Anya requires looking beyond surface impressions and considering the historical context.
That shaped her.
She lived through the siege of Leningrad, one of the most brutal events of World War II.
Many readers found that the historical setting wasn't just background detail, it was woven into the very fabric of the story.
Yeah, it explains Anya's stoicism, her resilience, even her sometimes harsh parenting style.
The siege becomes almost a character itself,
Right.
shaping Anya's worldview and her relationships. One reader noted that the historical detail felt incredibly well researched, bringing that period to life in a visceral way. You could almost feel the desperation,
The hunger.
the bone-chilling cold that Anya and others endured.
What's fascinating here is the way Hannah uses the historical setting to not just tell a compelling story.
But to illuminate the human condition,
She's exploring the intergenerational transmission of trauma.
how the past can haunt the present, even when we try to bury it.
Anya's wartime experiences have a ripple effect, impacting how she raises her daughters, how they see the world, even how they relate to each other,
And amidst all this heaviness, there's also a profound sense of hope and love.
particularly in the bond between the two sisters.
They have their differences,
Of course.
but their love for each other is ultimately what drives them to uncover the truth about their mother's past and their family history.
their relationship is a central thread in the novel.
They navigate those complexities we all face in family relationships. The misunderstandings, the hurt feelings, the things left unsaid.
And it's through their journey of uncovering their family's past that they also embark on a journey of self-discovery.
Learning about forgiveness and the enduring power of family.
One reviewer aptly described the book as a story of a relationship between mother and daughters.
It really encapsulates the core of what Winter Garden is about. It delves into those intricate dynamics, how they're shaped by circumstances,
History.
by secrets,
It's about the things we inherit from our parents
whether intentionally passed down or not.
and how we grapple with those inheritances, make sense of them, and ultimately find a way to connect, to forgive. Even when there's been pain and misunderstanding, it's a theme that seems to resonate deeply with readers.
We all have family secrets,
Complexities.
things left unsaid.
Winter Garden offers a kind of roadmap for navigating those difficult waters and finding a way to come together, even when it seems impossible.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope.
Always the possibility of redemption and connection.
Now we know that not everyone had the same reaction to the ending of the book. Some felt it provided a satisfying resolution
Oh, yeah.
after such an emotionally intense journey, while others found it
A little.
somewhat rushed or even a bit too neat,
Tidy.
given the complexities of the story.
Yeah. I can see how, after investing so much in Anya's story and the sisters' search for answers, some might crave a more nuanced resolution. It raises an interesting question about what we as readers expect from a satisfying ending.
Yeah.
Do we need everything tied up in a neat bow, Or is there value in ambiguity and leaving some questions unanswered?
It's a question that goes to the heart of how we engage with literature.
I think so.
Do we seek closure and resolution, or do we find greater satisfaction in endings that linger in our minds long after we finish the book?
Right.
I think Winter Garden, in prompting this kind of debate, speaks to its power as a novel. It doesn't simply offer easy answers, but stays with you, prompting reflection and discussion.
And for me, the most thought-provoking aspect of the book was how it connected to Hannah's other works.
Mm-hmm.
There are clear echoes of the themes of resilience and sisterhood that we see in The Nightingale and The Great Alone.
It's true. Hannah has a real talent for crafting stories that explore the bonds of family and the ways in which women find strength and support in each other, particularly during times of immense hardship.
Right.
In Winter Garden, it's the bond between Meredith and Nina that ultimately drives them to uncover the truth about their mother and come to terms with their family's legacy.
And speaking of legacies, it's fascinating how Anya's experience during the Siege of Leningrad becomes more than just a historical backdrop.
Yeah.
Hannah uses specific details of the siege to really shape Anya's personality.
We see how the trauma of that experience manifests in her stoicism, her fierce protectiveness of her children, and even in the way she struggles to express affection.
It's almost as if the siege becomes a character itself, haunting Anya and influencing her every action.
Right.
The way Hannah weaves those historical facts into Anya's fictional narrative showcases the power of historical fiction to illuminate the human experience.
Yeah.
We're not just reading about events in a history book. We're seeing how those events shape the life of a real, complex human being and continue to resonate in the lives of her children.
You brought up the idea of intergenerational trauma earlier, and I think Winter Garden provides such a powerful example of this concept.
Absolutely.
Even though Anya's daughters grew up in America, far removed from the horrors of the siege, they're still impacted by their mother's experiences. They inherit not only Anya's resilience and strength, but also her anxieties, her guardedness, and her difficulty in expressing vulnerability.
It raises the question of what we unknowingly inherit from our parents, and how those inheritances, both positive and negative, shape who we become.
It also highlights the importance of understanding our parents' stories, their past experiences. In order to fully understand ourselves, this idea of self-discovery through uncovering family history is a key thread that runs throughout Winter Garden.
It's a thread that many readers seem to connect with on a personal level.
Yeah.
One particularly insightful review described the book as prompting a deeper understanding of her own family dynamics.
Oh, wow.
She talked about how reading Winter Garden helped her see her own mother's actions, which she had previously interpreted as coldness, as a reflection of her own past traumas and struggles.
That's such a powerful testament to the book's ability to resonate with readers and encourage them to see their own lives and relationships in a new light.
Right.
It speaks to the universal themes that Hannah explores. Love, loss, forgiveness, the ways in which the past shapes the present. These are themes that transcend cultural boundaries and speak to the shared human experience.
And it's interesting how, even though the novel deals with such heavy subject matter, it's not devoid of humor. I found myself chuckling at some of the interactions between the sisters.
Yeah.
Particularly their attempts to understand their mother's cryptic stories about her past. It felt very real, very relatable.
I can see that.
It reminded me of my own relationship with my siblings, that blend of frustration and deep affection.
Those moments of humor provide a much-needed counterpoint to the darker aspects of the story and make the characters feel all the more human.
I agree.
They remind us that even in the midst of hardship and grief, life goes on and there are still moments of joy and connection to be found.
Yes,
And I think that's ultimately what makes Winter Garden such a compelling read.
it is.
It's a story that acknowledges the complexities of life, the pain and the beauty, the light and the shadow, and finds a way to hold them all in delicate balance.
It definitely leaves a lasting impression. Now, for those who haven't experienced this captivating story yet, you can listen to Winter Garden with a free trial of Audible.
Just click the link in the description to sign up for a 30-day free trial, and you'll get 2 free audiobooks.
This is a great way to immerse yourself in this story.
And if you've already read or listened to Winter Garden, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
What did you think of the ending?
Did you find Anya to be a sympathetic character?
Did the book make you reflect on your own family relationships?
Head over to the comments section and share your perspective.
We always appreciate hearing from our listeners and engaging in these conversations. Now let's shift gears for a moment and talk about one review that brought up a really interesting point about the structure of the novel. This reader pointed out how the back and forth between the past and present timelines isn't just a way to reveal information gradually.
It actually mirrors the way memory works.
We see Anya's daughters struggling to piece together fragments of their mother's past, just like we grapple with fragmented memories of our own family histories.
That's a really insightful observation. It adds another layer of complexity to the novel's structure. We're not just following two parallel stories, we're experiencing the process of uncovering the past, with all its uncertainties and gaps in knowledge.
Yeah. It highlights how our understanding of our family histories is always evolving, shaped by the stories we're told, the memories we hold on to, and the discoveries we make along the way.
It's like those moments when you uncover an old photograph or letter, and suddenly you see familiar story in a whole new light.
Right.
It makes you question what you thought you knew.
Makes you wonder what other secrets might be hidden just beneath the surface.
Winter Garden captures that sense of mystery and discovery so beautifully.
It does.
And it speaks to the power of storytelling itself.
How the stories we inherit from our families shape our identities, our understanding of the world.
Anya's daughters are trying to make sense of their mother's story, but in doing so, they're also piecing together their own stories, their own sense of belonging.
And I think that's what makes Winter Garden such a resonant and ultimately hopeful novel. It suggests that even the most painful past can be redeemed through understanding empathy and the enduring power of love.
By confronting the secrets and silences that have shaped their family, Anya's daughters find a way to move forward, not by erasing the past, but by integrating it into their present and future.
Right.
It's a powerful reminder that our stories, both personal and familial, are constantly being written and rewritten. And while we may not always have control over the events that shape our lives, we do have the power to choose how we interpret them, how we integrate them into our own narratives.
And if you're looking for a book that will stay with you long after you finish the last page, a book that will make you think about family history and the complexities of human relationships, then I highly recommend checking out Winter Garden.
And remember, you can listen to it for free with a 30-day trial of Audible. Just click the link in the description to sign up, and you'll also get 2 free audiobooks to keep.
We always love hearing from you, so please leave a comment and tell us what you thought of Winter Garden. Did it resonate with you? Did it challenge any of your own beliefs about family or the impact of the past? Let's keep the conversation going.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration of Winter Garden. We look forward to diving into another book with you soon.
Until then, happy reading.